Hello, welcome to you all. Martin Kagan. We're going to be looking today at a complete revision of the system. As you can see, different front panel, different systems, multi-indexing, multiple window reflections. There's a lot to see today. So without further ado, let's go through some of the things. We start with this front page because it has a lot of things. We set up a default which doesn't affect anything other than certain labels. So I chose finance because I know a balance sheet is coming up. And then we are able to import CSV of a number of different formats, a JSON file, or from an empty position we can start generating a file from grounds up. But to start off with, we have also built in 6 files that you can easily download, which we'll be using, and an integrated manual that covers all aspects of the system built into the HTML. Just one click. So let's just do that. And here's the manual, covers every single dimension of the data, take you to where you need to be, help you through the system. Nothing is out of your grasp or out of your capacity to handle in this version. So let's have a look at this generated and automated system. It goes fairly quickly, flashes there, then it goes a little bit slower. Take you to a dual system, as you can see, and a quad system. The interesting thing of that quad system is that there are actually 4 separate indexes which we'll cover. And we're at the end of the so-called flash demo. Came back to the main screen. This is where I said there was a financial angle to it. And here we're looking at a balance sheet. I see liabilities, so I know that there's assets and liabilities involved, assets and equity. Right, so we're familiar with the style already, so I'm not going to go through the basics. Or you need to refer to a prior video to try to explain that stuff to you. This is designed for dynamic usage. So what we have here is a single plane, the ability to drill down, see it at its core, see those elements. Just bring this to your attention here, because we were stuck there once before. And right over here is the drill back. I'll have to have that adjusted. In the meantime, that's where it is. We've got our statistics on the right hand panel. There are 3 separate panels: the statistical panel, the control panel, and a panel for advanced refinement of the model itself. So that's the single version. You can then do a dual version, and if you look at them, they're actually different. They are indexed differently. Same data, balance sheets and assets, but the index is different to how it's set up, and therefore giving a different complexion. They're both asynchronous. You can move them and look at them independently, combined, try to get a traction on the data itself. And then we're able to import a competing file. And I downloaded those that I mentioned to you, so I'm going to bring in a balance sheet here of a public company with its financial information public. And I can see it's already too small, so we're not going to look at that one. We're going to have to take a different one. That drilled itself down into a smaller aspect of it, and that covers the aspect of dual. Now let's go to the next stage. We just finished off dual. How's about a quad? Let's going to do a quad off this, so let's make that a little bit more complex and bring in a file that would be worthy of our time. How's about this? This is a school. We have got kindergarten, high school, middle school, elementary school. There are three. I correct myself. Middle school, elementary, and high. And what we have here is an analysis of that school at all its different levels, grades, subject matters, all the way down to the school marks, calibrated in the ratio that we've become familiar with, and this would be graded according to the school metrics, and we are able to see the pass and the fails. The outer band here are positives. You can see by these numbers here, 5, it's graded -5 to +5, with 0 as the mean or the pass rate, and we can adjust that as well to float the pass rate fractionally so as to make it more effective, because that's what happens when the year end comes. Those rates get floated. But what I wanted to bring to your attention is there's a lot of data in this setup, and we might not want to be able to see all of it. So let's look at that outer rim, which is what we're really looking at. And let us, instead of doing that, let us make sure that we are looking at that outer rim, and we actually want to see the negatives within it. So that quickly inverted the file. The outer became the inner becomes outer, and from there we're able to see and get a better idea of what is happening. You can take that same data and take it to a quad. We just saw the dual. How's about a quad of the same data? If you look at that inner core, you can see that they're different, and this is now by one's by the subject matter as the inner core, this is by the district, this is by the grade, and this is set up incorrectly because I didn't change it from finance to schooling. So we've got a different classification, but it is the grade level computation, as you can see. We can take any one of these, expand it. I double expanded it, my apologies. Expand it. And then let's do a drill down within one of these. Subject first, so we do the subject, and we get that. And here we get a opportunity to compare the drill down portion. These are not out of focus without intention, they are out of focus with intention, and we are comparing this wedge, which has been moved into a single rows as a drill down. So these are copacetically the same thing. Grade 1, and that will be grade 1 there with the same information. And we can have a look at them and compare them, or we could compare dissimilar information. Could have two balance sheets of two different companies. How's about that? And compare the balance sheets thereof. Or we could do any other permutation that came to your mind. So with that said, we can drill backwards and drill back up again. Reduce that to where it was. One stage, and then we'll take it back a stage again, and that was the comparison sheet. Come back, we've done compare and the multi-indexing. The next thing to say is, well, what drives this thing? Well, here's the sheets. There are in total 9 sheets that drive the entire system. In this particular case, sometimes it's as low as 3. This is an extensive system. we've got the main sheet, which we're looking at, and variations thereof. As you can see, the index is changing every time I do that, and consequently to the index changing is my ability to create index on the fly and then generate those comparatives that you just saw a few moments ago. So we've covered this fairly extensively, I believe, and this is just a quick overview, so I'm not going to get hung up into the system itself. I do want to make sure that you understand that this is a audited system. It's blockchain based. Everything's verified, as you can see by the green mark in there. Everything's in balance, and you can actually see it whether you like orthographic or you like perspective mode. Its default is orthographic. I prefer that. It gives a clearer view of things, and there's a multiplicity of other aspects that we can generate and render from. Back to this balance sheet that we had a look at, and quick one, what I'm going to do is go back to the very beginning. Takes 2 seconds. Here you have, if you're going to import a separate file, if you're going to generate a structure, it's all built in, and as I said, the manual is there to make you totally comfortable with going through it. Thank you again for watching. Martin Kagan, I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a big change.